Howdy everybody. I pray this video finds you blessed. So during Christmas time, Woodcraft had a bunch of these vegetable peelers on sale, so I bought a few and decided, well, it's warm in the shop, so I'll try to do some smaller projects that won't keep me out there so long. So I got a blank from Rich from Two Dogs and a Bottle of Whiskey. He makes pen blanks, and he sent me a few to help teach the kids how to turn pens. Well, I thought it would be a really cool idea to take this piece of wood I got that I also bought from Woodcraft and put the resin blank, on the inside, resin on the inside, and turn the handle so the resin would be exposed, through the wood. So it would kind of be opposite of just like casting wood in resin. It would, kind of give an effect. And I haven't done it before, so I figured, well, what the heck, might as well just try it out. So Rich, thank you so much for that blank. So I drilled a hole slightly larger than the blank, so when I filled it with resin, there would be enough space, in between the wood and the resin to adhere it. I just hot glued it down to, I think, a piece of plastic bucket that I had laying around, and that way it would just come off really easy when I pulled all that apart. And I did put this in my pressure pot overnight. I drilled a 1/4 inch hole for the potato peeler to fit in there, and I drilled it slightly longer than what was necessary. So in case I had some design changes or something didn't cooperate with me, I can easily reshape it without having to go back and drill out more and more and keep having to go back and forth. It was just easier to fill it with resin, in the end, than it was to continue drilling out a hole in case I messed up. I didn't think about this until after a friend of mine that's a very wise wood turner told me some advice. I had already started turning bowls, and I didn't do this myself, but he said that practicing turning coves and beads on spindle work with your bowl gouge is a very good way to practice turning bowls. So if you do pens or just any kind of spindle work and you haven't ventured into turning bowls yet, practice that movement of making coves and beads with your gouge, because it's the same type of movement and curves that will help develop your skill better in turning bowls. Now, like I said, I didn't do that because I didn't get that tip until after I already learned the hard way with many catches and very frustrating nights of, catches. And if you get a catch with a bowl gouge, and it's your first time using one, it's very intimidating. But you will get better as you practice. But if I would have known about the coves and beads technique and practicing that before attempting to do bowls, I feel that I probably would not have had such a difficult time. For some of us, I'm not saying everybody has to do that or that's the only way. I'm just saying if you're having a bit of challenges doing bowls, go online and YouTube. There are tons of awesome turners out there that show you how to do coves and beads with a bowl gouge. So you can use the same tool and the techniques of how to hold the tool and riding that bevel, and it's more forgiving to learn to turn bowls that way. And once you get those motions down and you feel the floating or riding the bevel, you can feel more confident about turning bowls. I sanded from 80 all the way to 400, and I would stop in between each grit and just sand the opposite direction. Clean it off really good with denatured alcohol. That does help brace the grain a little bit, gets all the extra dust out of there. And then I put one coat of sanding sealer, which is just denatured alcohol and shellac. And then I didn't sand over that after that was done. I just left it as is. It felt pretty good and smooth. Plus, I knew I was going to put a resin finish on the handle. I wanted it to be extra durable. My kids help us out with the dishes and loading the dishwasher, and sometimes my wooden spoons and things like that end up getting in the dishwasher, which is okay because I am blessed that they love to help us out and love to do dishes. So I just wanted to make it extra durable, just in case it does make a few rounds in the dishwasher. I just kept the lathe running at 50 RPMs for about 45 minutes. That was long enough for it to not drip, and then about 3 hours later I was able to remove the bottom part. I used my sander. Thank you, Mike, for sending me the sander. I love it. I needed to make some sort of jig to hold the handle while I put resin on the exposed part that I just sanded off and took off. So I just put a bolt, a 1/4 inch, well, it was a little bit smaller than a 1/4 inch bolt, through one of my waste blocks that I have, wrapped some paper towel around it to make it, where it was tight. CA glued that bolt in there so it just wouldn't spin. Applied the same 2-to-1 resin on the bottom and kept it spinning, so it wouldn't drip. Wasn't turning it very fast, so it didn't need to be on there. It just needed to be on there enough to where it could spin slowly and allow the resin to cure before it dripped off. Then I used some fast set resin to glue my handle to my cutter. Thank you all so very much for your support, your kind words, and for watching my videos. I pray you have a wonderful weekend. Take care and God bless.